there was the human heart and the body came out of the heart,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think the first thing is?
The tongue?
The tip of the tongue.
Really?
It's the first thing that emerges out of the body that merges out.
Interesting.
And so you can intuitively see that the sacred space of the heart is connected somehow to the tip of the tongue. And on the roof of the mouth is something that we don't know, but there's literally a sexual organ in there that looks like a vagina with a clitoris, and it doesn't function until it's massaged in a certain way. And when it does, a little bump forms, and the sexual energy flows between the heart and the brain, and it goes to the thalamus. And the thalamus, when you do that, it begins to fire alpha in the 4 quadrants of the brain. And when you do this long enough, and the alpha is equal or relatively equal in the 4 quadrants of the brain, and strong enough, then the pineal gland, which is the third eye, it's literally an eyeball.
Right.
It is hollow. It has color receptors in it. It has a lens on it, and is facing up instead of out at 90 degrees to what we are now. And in the ancient writings, they talk about how you have to bend that. Well, it's with intention. You turn that eye and look out what we call the third eye. But what you're looking at is the pituitary gland, which is right in front of there. And when the alpha is fired up high enough, then when you what appears is a green light appears all inside of you. It could be a greenish yellow or it could be a greenish blue, but it's green in nature. And you begin to look at that direction. Your eyes have to slightly go up because it's a higher place than where your normal eyes are. And when you look at that other one, then what happens is a spiral usually occurs, and it locks those two together, and then there's another one behind it. And when you connect with that one, then around your head, there are these 8 beams of light that are formed, and a sphere appears around your head. And at that moment, whatever you're dreaming in your heart becomes reality in the outer world. And I mean flat out real. And it doesn't. And there are people that are actually studying this. Dr. James Hart, one of the greatest brain researchers on the planet, has looked into all of this and has been able to see that these things are actually occurring. They can scientifically test them as they're happening. They're testing the creation process. You can create with your brain, or you can create with your heart, but there's a big, big difference. And so most people in the world are creating with their brain. You remember that DVD that came out called The Secret?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know, and they made $100 million on that. And they're telling everybody, laws of attraction, you do this, 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 and this, and you can have all the money you want, and everything else is how they talk about it. But when you create with your brain, the brain is a polarized instrument. It is a left and a right side, male and female, and whatever you create, you're going to get the equal and opposite creation coming from behind you where you don't see. So if you whatever you create, you're going to get exactly what you don't want. And it works the other way around, too. If you create something evil, dark, you're going to create something light also. And then you look at all the people that were involved in that and what's happened. They're all in court suing each other, and all the money's tied up in courts, and it will be for years and years and years because that's what's coming back from behind them. But if you create from your heart, it has a single eye, not two.
Is that creating what the old saying was, though, what goes around comes around?
Well, that's karma.
Yeah.
That's karma. That's a little different. Whatever you do, you're going to find the same thing coming back at you. It is related in that you're still creating whatever you do, every word you say, every thought you have, every feeling, you're creating in one way or another. But if you create from the heart, you get only the heart will never create anything that harms anybody anywhere.
I haven't asked you of the date here that you have on the cover of the book, 1949 to 2013. Why that window?
Well, because I really believe that we will not get past 2013. And it's a long understanding of all of this and long talks with the Mayans. The Mayans don't think so either.
It's almost like it's a date on a tombstone.
Well, kind of. there's a certain date in there, February 19th, that I think that is going to be in the future is going to be the 2013 will be a very important date.
Well, when you say we won't get past it, don't we start again?
The old way of existing, the way we are now.
Okay.
We're going to change into something new, and it will, and on that date we will really take off. Though the Mayans, I wish I could say something, but they believe it's going to happen much sooner.
Yeah. When can we expect an announcement from the elders?
Well, they're creating a movie right now. It's called The Shift of the Ages. And this is headed by Don Alejandro Cerrillo, who is the like the president or the Dalai Lama of the entire Mayan nation, of all 440 tribes. And they're creating a movie around him, and where he is going to explain what the Mayans know and what they believe is going to happen. I don't know when that's coming out, but I know they're almost done with it. Well,
the window, according to them, is up to 2015, I guess.
Yeah, somewhere in there. They've never told me the exact date. According to the Hopi, there will be a red star that will appear. And that red star will mark the end of this window.
Well,
but I don't know.
What would be the significance of the red star if we already think the blue one was that comet?
Well, I don't know. It's like right now there is in the constellation of Orion, there's a star about to form a supernova, and it can happen any minute the way it's occurring. And if it does, it will affect us here.
Oh, sure will.
And it will form a huge red star in the sky.
Well,
so maybe that's it. Maybe it isn't. I don't know.
Do they ever look at the biblical book of Revelation, Drunvalo? Do they look at that and say, there were signs here, too?
The Mayans?
Yeah.
They don't have real good feelings. Most of the tribes don't have good feelings about from the Christians. Not that they're bad people or anything. It isn't that. It's just that they were persecuted quite heavily, especially with the conquistadors and what happened.
Sure,
I understand. So they were forced into it. But they have their own ideas, and it's these ideas that we're interested in. Yes, there are books all over the world that talk about this in different ways, not only the Bible, but the first 5 books of the Bible are also very, very important because that's the Jewish Torah. And that's where you have, if you remember a few years ago, we heard about the Bible Code.
Yep.
And
Michael Drosnin's.
Yeah, exactly. And he was the one that revealed that out to the world. I spent a long time with the University of Jerusalem and the work that they were doing there. And it's pretty clear now from what they know now, because they have now looked at the names of over 30,000 people, and in every single case, there the name shows up, the exact date of their birth, the place of their birth, the exact day of their death, the exact place of their death, and in the crossword puzzle running across there is the major accomplishments of their life. What was never revealed is that it is an infinite geometrical progression, and it goes back in every single word that person ever said.
When we come back, we're going to take phone calls with our special guest, the author of Serpent of Light, Beyond 2012, Drunvalo Melchizedek. Okay, welcome back, and let's go to the phones. Here we go to Phoenix, Arizona. George, welcome to Coast You're on with Drunvalo. Go ahead.
Yes, what you said about the mantle melting and so forth, and the say the continental plates shifting around, that'd be like continental drift chaotic. Continental drift gone awry. It'd be almost like a dog shaking to get rid of fleas. And I believe what you enjoyed said, I always have, about the earth being a living being or a living thing. And I believe that what you said about 2013, I came up with that date myself because I figure if the plates start shifting around like what you say, it's going to cause earthquakes, volcanoes, and stuff, and hurricanes on a massive scale. So I just wanted to know, how did you come to that conclusion of 2013? And tell me a little bit more about that blue spear? I keep up with astronomy, and I'd never heard about that.
You picked one question I can't tell you the answer to, is why I came up with that date, because it's tied to certain indigenous tribes